Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and today we're doing a reading for, I'm actually thinking it's fire sign because I got fire as the first rule of thumb. Now, the first card I pulled, and it's from the deck, it's called Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. Yep, it's called the Fairy Tarot card deck, and I'm also using Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. And I'm also going to pull from, this is a new deck I got from Got Your Sister Back, which I think is really cool. It's called Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. Just something different, just to change it up. So the first card I pulled was, and I'm using a crystal for protection. I'm guessing, when you don't sleep properly, it's usually because you've got a fear of going to sleep. When I was a child, I used to have many, many nightmares. Usually at 3 and 4 in the morning, and I used to sleepwalk because I was scared of something coming, and then eventually my stepfather became my stepfather, and I was scared of him before he even came. So I was dreaming about monsters before he even arrived on my doorstep. I knew he was bad. My mum didn't, because he painted himself as being this wonderful person, but I understood as a wolf or a dog or a spider would sense something, I sensed something about him that I didn't like and I was scared of. So I started sleepwalking at the age of 5. So 2 years before he arrived, I started sleepwalking. And then when he arrived, I sleepwalked more because I was scared of him. So the first card I've got is the 4 of Swords. This is rest. This is something that you possibly find and struggle to do. And I put the crystal, which is obsidian, to protect you while you are sleeping. Possibly you don't feel safe while you're sleeping, and that's something I don't feel safe with because I'm constantly astral traveling when I'm asleep. I'm moving forward in time. I'm moving forward 3-4 years in time to see what's coming for me. And if it's a monster, literally, or I dream about a monster, an archetype, it's my way of it's a warning system to protect myself from whatever's coming in. The boogeyman. This monster's under the bed. My children used to have dreams of monsters as well, and I never understood it was related to my ex-partner being a monster. He was exactly like my stepfather, but I never realized it. He was scary. When he was angry, he was aggressive, and he had a lot of anger, and he used to scare my son. And he used to talk about this man that used to travel near his bedside and scare the crap out of him when he was asleep. That would be when he was young. He was scared of his father, and I make no bones about it. We were all scared of him. He had a temper, and when he had a temper, he would lash out and he would hit things or hurt things or hurt me or scare me. I can remember running for my life one day, and he came home from work and he had a bad day, and I had to take my son, literally picked him up and walked him down to the park to get away from him because domestic violence was real, and I was putting up with that shit because I was living with him and we had a son together. And I thought, you meant to stay in a marriage where you're not happy with that person, because I didn't know how to defend myself, and I didn't realize I invited the same boogeyman, which would be my stepfather. I invited this same energy that was my ex into my life. So we've since separated, and I really wish him well, but he was a nightmare to live with. He was very borderline paranoid schizophrenic. I don't know what he was, but he was scary to me, to the children. We were all on edge. We were walking on eggshells from the minute he got home to the minute he left the home. And we were so glad when he left the home that I left. So the next card I've got is the Justice card. This is you getting justice or seeking out justice for a situation. And so I put Howlite for sleep. Apparently Howlite helps you sleep. Doesn't help me, but someone said it helps you. His name's Adrian. He has a crystal business in Hamilton, in Hamilton, in Australia, that I got most of my crystals from. So that's him, but it doesn't help me at all. So justice talks about becoming clear on your goals, becoming an advocate for truth, making well thought out decisions, standing up for what's right, carefully reviewing documents before signing them. This is a time when it's important to stick to your principles. Trust that your opinions are correct, and time will make that evident to everyone. Don't allow others to talk you out of your beliefs or priorities. Remember to be impartial and objective when asked to make choices that involve other people. However, objectivity must not be countervailed with compassion. When this card is drawn, you can be assured that situations will turn out in your favour. Your side will be clearly seen in mediation, legal rulings and decisions made by those in power. I have a Sagittarian moon. I'm hoping to God that actually works out. I also have an Aries ascendant. Our fairy twins stand before Excalibur, the legendary sword of King Arthur. The sword was known to not only avail those who were worthy and true of heart. So it's talking about the Lady of the Lake. So back in the old days, there was the Renaissance. They actually drew or painted a painting with Ophelia, who was sleeping, or looked like she was sleeping, the Lady of the Lake, who drew out the sword to give to King Arthur. And only the worthy and only the people that were just and right and a pure heart could remove that sword from the stone. So I believe that I'm worthy. I was very honest at a very young age, and I could always call out a liar. I could always call out a fib because I could sense it. If I felt like someone was lying, I chose not to be in that room. I chose to exit stage left. If I could see something for a kid who obviously didn't know how to express himself, I would see things for that child, and I would always find out through being a psychic medium what was going on really with that kid. My brother doesn't talk to me because I predicted a bike accident when he was, I think it was 10, and I was, he might have been 9. And at the time I was like 14. Or I don't know, maybe I was 14. He might have been 7. I predicted an accident with him on a push bike. And I said to him, Alan, please don't ride your bike today. I see you in an accident, because I had a dream about it, because I was so close to my brother. And so he ignored me. He thought I was an idiot. And then when it happened, he was scared of me because I saw things long before they happened. That was at the age of 13, 14, roughly. My psychic abilities became very abundant at the age of 13 and 14. And I didn't know how to stop them, but I knew how to protect the people that I loved, and that would be my brother. And to this day, he doesn't like that I'm who I am, and that's fine with me, but I need him to know that I'm always going to be looking out for him and his children, because I'm a psychic medium. I protect the people I love. So if you get a forewarning from me, then it's a good thing, because then you can stop that from happening. And why would you not want to stop that from happening? That's just me. I would rather be forewarned. It's forearmed, is how I look at it. Now, in the past, you may have been protecting a little Prince of Cups, which is a romantic, captivating, dramatic, flirtatious person who is a Scorpion, Cancer, Pisces person who may be presenting to you as a younger child. He may be a fully grown man, but he may have not grown fully into himself. He may be quite immature, and that's fine. You may have fallen in love with him. He may have swept you off your feet, but the need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. He may have had a very traumatic childhood, which is why he's so protective and sensitive. And he may have also been a psychic medium. Those children who have had trauma tend to know and sense things before they come, because they're always looking out for danger. They're looking out for the boogeyman. They're looking out for the monster living under their beds. I pretty much parented my children's dad because he had so much trauma from moving from another country to this country, and was placed in like a jail, when refugees get placed in a place. Obviously it affected him, and I didn't realise to what extent it affected him, because at the time he never told me, he never communicated, hey, I've got a caseworker. I didn't actually realise the caseworker was because he had a mental health issue, and he never spoke about it. His mother never spoke about it because she was trying to offload her son to me, take no responsibility for him, because she couldn't deal with him anymore. She wanted someone else to take over. That would be me. So I became not only the wife, fiance, I became the parent, and I also became the support worker, the counsellor. So, that was not my job. That was her job. But she had a language barrier, or so she pretended to. And so he suffered, and he didn't achieve the goals he would have achieved if he had have come and grown up in his country. Because he was removed from a country he knew by the age of 14, he actually never achieved what he should have achieved over in his country, because there was a language barrier and a cultural barrier and a mistrust of white people. But I tried to push that. I tried to help him with that, and I actually parented him. I helped him get his license. I pushed him to get his license. I was there. I was there. I was his friend. I was not only his lover, I was also his best friend. But maybe he felt like being raised in a country where the male is the alpha male, that I made him look small. I was not trying to do that. I was actually trying to help him. And, he retaliated when he got his license, and then he started to think he was better than everyone else. But back when he was young and didn't know anything, I looked after him. I stopped him from harming himself. I stopped many things that his parents don't even know I helped. Then we've got renewal. Renewal is about joining a community. It's also reviewing your life. It's like when you die and then you have you get shots of your life in seconds before you die. This is what I've been told. You get shown things that you have been through, what you've experienced, what you've given out, how you've hurt someone, how you've harmed someone. You get shown that. It flashes before your sight before you die, I got told. It's a milestone, a call to fulfill your destiny, releasing judgments of yourself and others, and understanding your life purpose. It's time for a review. Take note of what you've learned in life so far. Where do you want to go next? You're in a moment where you can truly reinvent yourself and build the future you want. And however, to successfully arrive at your destination, you'll need a really good map. Visualize your possible future and start taking the appropriate steps. So you're trying to map it out. Pay attention to flashes of inspiration, original ideas. These epiphanies are part of your life purpose and are meant to guide you on your way to joy. Our fairies are joined by Joseph R. Amarthera and the Holy Hawthorn Tree. So you're coming through a rite of passage. Some of you may be getting married. Some of you may be getting divorced. Some of you may be having a baby. Or you're moving country. Or you're graduating school. This is what I'm getting for fire signs. Or you're moving state, country. The star. This is what's coming for your future. You have an Aquarian energy around you. Aquarian is always the star. You may have a star who doesn't even know they're a star just yet. They may be about to become famous. You may have known them when you were younger and didn't realize the power that they held. And the crystal I put on this star is the amethyst. It is for the Aquarian. The Aquarian is all about, and this is the Aquarian age, we're all about healing and getting well. Maybe you've come through a rite of passage. You may have done some counseling. You're now coming out the other end of it and you're healed. You're now almost healed. You're going to be fully healed in the next 8 weeks. And you can look to the future with hope and optimism. The power of faith to move mountains and happy changes that bring relief from challenging times. You may have a new diet and exercise routine. You may be looking at your health and well-being. You may be trying to get well so that you can be happy, because before that you were self-sabotaging. And so the 7 and a 1 is an 8, and it's a karmic rite of passage. You may be trying to get on the path. The next card I pulled is the Princess of Spring. This is the fire signs I'm actually reading for fire right now. You are the Princess of Spring. You may have Aries, Sagittarian, or Leo in your chart, and it is an optimistic, enthusiastic, very creative energy. It's time to go after your dreams. Do something that expands your horizons and let your creativity take flight. You may like to sing, dance, act, paint, draw, create, be a creative content person. This is what the energy comes off. You may be a marketing person. You may have a really good idea on how to market something, or how to organize a setup for a company. You may work in eventing and management, where you orchestrate a whole event and figure out how to get from A to B. You may have a natural ability on eventing and management, which I've done in my career. I'm an Aries rising. I used to put events together, and they were for a skincare company, and it was huge. It was Clarins, and I made sure that I had everything in place long before it happened, how much staff I would need. I'd do a forecasting and event planning. I would call the customers and make sure they got a facial out of it. And I put Clarins on the map for outselling the relaunch of Skin Firming Cream, which was for 40 plus people. They relaunched it. They evaluated the skincare substances they used, skin firming for 40 plus. And we knocked it out of the park. We were national. I was national in the state. I beat every other county manager. I was number one on the floor in Queensland because I really believed in the product. And it actually works. And it costs, $60, $70, but that pays for the scientists that invented that actual cream, skin firming cream. And it's still number one today because it works. And my skin looked amazing when I worked for Clarence. So I do believe in the product. All natural therapies. I'm very much a natural therapies person. The next card we've got around you, there's a person around you who is an air sign, older than you. He possibly is an Aquarian because we've got the star sign, right? The star represents Aquarius. And the King of Swords is Aquarian, Gemini, or Libra. Now, the Aquarian signature is usually represented by the star. Then you've got the Gemini, the Libra is the teenager of the zodiac, of the swords suit. And then you have the Libra, then you have the Gemini, which is the baby of the zodiac. So you may have Aquarian in your chart plus Gemini. And I do actually have a Gemini trine and I have an Aquarian sun sign, but I have an Aries rising. So I'm very directed, very driven. That's just me. And around you, to protect you, you've got a Taurus. So there is a Prince of Autumn. He is a Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo energy who is dependable, protective, chivalrous, and humorous. He's cautious but wise, and he's got a meticulous attention to detail. He does kind work for others. He may operate and he may communicate how much he loves you through acts of service. An act of service would be mowing your lawn or helping you with food or giving you money. That's an act of service. I'm more about gifting people. When I'm saying thank you for something, I give them an object like a microwave or a present or something. That's how I show love. So you've got to figure out his language of love, and his language of love is an act of service. So when you go and see him, if it's for Easter, Christmas or birthday, an act of service would be going to the pogies with him or going to have dinner with him. That's an act of service. No, he's there to protect you. So you've got this protective energy around you. He's cautious and wise, and he's got the scepter. He's got the scepter as his brain. His brain is very intelligent, and in fact, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that you don't even know about, that he's aware of, and he's constantly thinking about how to help you without actually hindering your independence. Then you've got the Eight of Swords. Now, this is you right now. You have what it takes if only you believe in yourself. Some of you may have problems with self-confidence. You're thinking that you're powerless when you're actually not. A lack of self-confidence that keeps you from getting from what you want. She can jump from this little iceberg to the next iceberg, but she won't because she's got a mental condition that stops her from taking leaps of faith. And possibly what the star is actually representing is that in the future, you will act on your leap of faith and you will then jump from A to B without any fear. But right now you're fear-based and wanting to hide in a cocoon and hide your light is normal when you are, traumatized. Now, because you're caught in a web, you're caught in a period of time where you felt powerless, where you were victimized. So the next card I've got is by the Work Your Light card, the Oracle. I'm going to pull two cards. This is for fire. And I'm going to split it in two. And see what we get. So the first card I got was the Initiation. The second card I got, Mint Can, longing for home, belonging. You may feel alienated or isolated with your gift. If you're a psychic medium, and no one else in your family is, you're going to feel very isolated and misunderstood. And this is normal. You don't know where you belong. So the initiation is to try and write a passage that backs up law of attraction. Find a way to reintegrate what you do with other people that are the same knowledge as you are. So try to mix with other psychic mediums or bring attention to them so they can help you through whatever you're going through. The initiation is rite of passage. You may be being proposed to by someone. Just just have to find the card because this is a new deck. I don't know it. I've got that, 116. The initiation is what I'm trying to find. All right, I'll just do the first one. Mitatarkan, longing for home, which I've got, is a 116. Okay, Mitatarkan is longing for home, belonging to the original Lightworkers. Hold the card in your heart and say, I allow myself to be truly here and at home on this planet. I release any grief around not belonging or feeling held and call in the perfect home. So you may feel like you're being excluded because of what you do. Mitatarkans are a soul group who originated on a planet in the constellation Orion. They were the first star beings to travel to Earth and believed to be the original Lightworkers. The Mitatarkans' home planet is thought to have been a water world with water so pure that you could see through it for miles. For this reason, the Mitatarkans feel most at peace and at home when in or around crystal clear water. I get healing from water. I love to swim. To teach us to see the potential in everything and the light in all beings, many Mitatarkans have an odd longing for home and struggle with feeling like they don't belong. It is thought that this is due to their home planet no longer being in existence. If you pull this card, it could mean that you are a Mitatarkan, or a longing for a sense of belonging and a root chakra healing is necessary for you to feel secure and safe. Perhaps you feel this longing to find home without knowing where it is. Perhaps you've been moving around a lot and yearn for a place to call home, or call your own. If so, you're being called to connect with Mother Earth. Create it for yourself now, to choose what you feel most at home and create it, rather than waiting for the feeling of belonging to come. I totally agree with that. What's it called? The initiation. Where is that? I can't find it, but it's the initiation. Oh, here we go. The initiation is 68. All right. The initiation is rite of passage, cross the threshold. Some of the most sacred initiation chambers and temples look scary from the outside, but are breathtakingly beautiful on the inside. This represents the journey that the soul pilgrim is trying to take to reach somewhere sacred, but only the initiated can enter. Perhaps that's where you are right now. You're being tested, initiated because you are headed somewhere sacred. Initiations require that we cross the threshold from one world or state of being to the next. We are called to face what scares us and have to be willing to lose it all in order to gain a new way of being, of safety, of security, of depth, of meaning. Initiations, like rites of passage, mark the shift from one age to the next and can take place because of emotional turmoil, great loss, grief, or devastation. But it is through the seeming hardship that our heart cracks open and our spirit is invested to step forward. We take the sacred voyage into more of who we are and who we came here to be. It can be painful and scary, but once we begin the journey, we can be more ourselves than ever before. If you are in the middle of an initiation right now, you will get through it, and in one day soon, you will bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open because the world needs you open. You are going somewhere sacred. It will be worth it, and you are closer than you think. Cross the threshold. And this again is what I believe. I lost everything back in 2018. No, would have been earlier, 15. I lost my job. I came home. Then I lost my place of home. I had a fallout with my family. I lost my car in 2014. I lost all my furniture. I lost my home. I lost my children because of a breakdown, because of what I'd been through. I've been through 4 different places of living in the space of under 6 months, and the pressure of looking after 2 kids under the age of 17. So I had all that responsibility and no one helped me, not my ex, not my family. They all just thought I should just suck it up. But you know what? I went, screw you. I'm going to not suck it up. I got sick. And then when they tried to come back and try to be nice to me, I haven't forgiven them. I still won't forgive them to this day. They have to learn that what they did to me was wrong. They should have supported me. They did not. I had to go to a shelter, which I was more traumatized by. Hello. And now I'm trying to rebuild my life. And I am doing it, and I'm crawling back. And I'm going to make sure that they're not included on that journey. They will have to beg, steal, or borrow to be within half an hour of me, because I don't forgive people that hurt me, especially not family. Family's meant to be there to support you. That's why I adopted other people during my journey in Brisbane, because in Brisbane, I adopted makeup people as family. And so I don't trust anyone or anything. And people like that need to be taught a lesson, and karma will pay them and revisit them one day. I think some of them are getting their karma right now, and I don't feel sorry for that. I believe that what you dish out is what you get back. I'm worried about a couple of people in my family, but other than that, no. That karma is going to come back to them. I didn't curse anyone. I actually was angry at the time. I just asked for karma to pay them back, and now they're getting their karma, and that's really sad. But what you do to someone will come back to you thrice. They're getting their karma. They're getting their comeuppance, and it's because of what they did to me. My best friend betrayed me, and I'll never forgive him. And if he dies an early death, that's not on me. That's what he did to me and my children. That's his karma. Namaste.